Did you know that you can actually die from a broken heart, and that doctors have prescribed people going through breakups with broken heart syndrome? If you have lost the girl that you love and you want to win her back, then be prepared for some open heart surgery in this video, as I want to give you 5 practical tips to win the ex-girlfriend back. I'm Renee Slansky for The Attractive Man, and it's my job as a coach to help you become the most desirable and confident man that you can possibly be. If you've ever had a girl leave you or currently are going through a breakup and you're planning to get her back, then you are going to want to take notes in this video. The first thing I'm going to do is help you get out of that depressive slump, because it's not attractive or productive. And even if you are a great guy, chances are right now you're coming across as a sad sandwich. Then I'm actually going to give you 5 things that you can instantly do in order to be able to get her thinking about wanting to have a future with you again. The first thing we need to do is get you into a good headspace. The thing you need to understand is that it is totally normal to feel stuck and crap right now. Breakups suck, especially if you are still in love with the woman, because essentially it's like having to grieve somebody that is still alive. What you are feeling is totally normal, and it does not make you weak or too emotional for wanting to have her back. The thing is, love makes us do crazy things, and breakups makes us do even stupider things. So before you do something silly, or before you jump the gun before she's ready to actually consider taking you back, there's things that I want you to do right now. The first is to reset your mind and your personal space. Now, what I mean by this is we have to kind of get your brain out of that place that it is right now that is keeping you really feeling depressed and having degenerate thinking. And when our thoughts aren't healthy, our actions and our words usually aren't going to be the best for us either. So what I want you to do is I actually want you to grab pen and paper, and I want you to write a list of all the great things that you do love about yourself and what you actually do bring to a relationship which are worth noting. We have to start focusing on your positive things, not your faults. Then I want you to clear out your environment. I want you to do a little bit of a spring clean in your personal home and also your work. Don't keep things that you don't need. Chuck out what it is that isn't necessary, because I want you to make sure that the environment around you is positive, productive, and effective so that you can start having more healthy thinking. Number 2, I want you to go and do some exercise regularly. The thing is, when we go through breakups, it really drains us emotionally and physically. So I want you to try to commit to at least 20 to 40 minutes of exercise 3 times a week so that you can start to really boost your endorphins again, also your testosterone levels, and of course clear your mind. Number 3, start focusing on building other areas of your life. What happens is when we go through a breakup, it's almost like we have this tunnel vision just on that problem, and we start to neglect other areas of our life, which then start to fall apart, and so we just feel that we're not getting anywhere. So what you need to do is you need to make a list of goals of all those different areas, whether it is your finances, your passions, your fitness, your career, and then print that list out and actually put it somewhere where you can see it so that you have something to work towards to keep you accountable, and also the actions that you need to do daily in order to be able to achieve those things so that your life feels that it is still being fulfilled in some way. Now, the 4th thing to do to get you out of your funk is, of course, to schedule some fun into your week. When we are going through breakups, the last thing that we usually want to do is get out and socialize, because we just want to heal our heart. But what that can do is essentially put us in isolation and make us overthink everything and probably do things that we shouldn't do. Breakups make you for miserable company, so what we need to do is almost trick your brain into thinking that you're still having a good time even if the situation isn't ideal. What I recommend for this is actually committing to things that you know are going to make you have a good time, or at least put you in an environment where you can possibly have a good time. Now, whether that is hanging out with the boys or joining a Facebook group or a meetup.com group, I want you to start planning things into your your calendar at least once to twice a week that are going to get you out of the house, put you around other people, and remind you that life is still worth living. And the last thing to do to really get you in the right mentality before I teach you how to win her back is you have to ask yourself the hard question: should you even really get back together? When you're going through a breakup, you can really lose perspective on whether or not you should even begin another relationship with that person. So it's time to get some perspective. So ask yourself, why did you break up in the first place? And what I like to do is actually make a list of pros and cons. Make sure that there's not a whole heap of red flags in the cons list that are just going to keep repeating themselves, hence why your relationship fell apart. And you want to make sure that anything that you have in the pros list are things that just aren't surface quality things like she has a nice butt, or we had great sex. Don't forget that getting back together doesn't guarantee that that relationship is going to be able to move forward. It's really important, if you want to have a fighting chance in order for that relationship to work out the second time round, that during this period of breaking up, there has to be growth in between. Whether that's growth for yourself, for her, and an understanding of how to actually make this relationship not be a repeat of the past. Now, before I jump into the secrets on how to actually win her back and give you some really practical tips, I want you to hit the subscribe button and of course give us a big thumbs up. And stick with me to the end because I want to actually give you a free cheat sheet that I really think will help you during this process. Okay, let's talk about winning her back. The end goal of getting back with an ex is that the relationship should always be better than what it was before, not a repeat of the past. The first thing that you need to do is show her that things are different. A woman won't even consider getting back into a relationship with you if she's just going to think it's going to be round 2 of heartache. And really, trust and communication needs to be rebuilt again, and the best way to do that is less talk and more action. You can't win her back overnight, unfortunately. This is going to be a marathon, not a race, and you're going to have to pace yourself and go slowly. The reason why is you want to show her that you are being consistent and not feeding her false hope. When you promise her something, even something as simple as, hey, I'll send you a text tonight, actually do it. Follow through. Make sure that your words and actions line up with each other so that she knows that things are going to be different this time round because you are a man of your word. If you have identified why the relationship broke down in the first place, you want to actually communicate that to her. Tell her that you realize this is why it fell apart and that you're actively doing something about it to make sure that it doesn't happen again. This will make her feel secure in the thought that you are first aware and that you're actually doing something about it so that you can have a fighting chance to have a healthy relationship. Number 2, trigger an emotional response by talking about good memories. Look, chances are you had some great times in your relationship, and that is what you want to focus on every time you actually talk to her. When we go through a breakup and we're trying to win somebody back, we tend to just focus on all the problems that need to be fixed. But you need to actually balance that out with all the good things that you actually had in the first place, hence why you're trying to fight and save it and reconcile. Remember, women actually respond to more emotional-based conversation rather than logic. That's why if you can paint a picture in her mind every single time that really pulls on her heartstrings and her memory, then she's going to be more open to realizing that she actually had something great with you. Now, this is actually really easy to do. It could be something as simple when you hear a song on the radio that reminds you of her. Record the song on your phone and then send it to her in Messenger and say, oh, do you remember when we heard this song together at the concert and we had this crazy night and you fell down the stairs, then I rescued you? Whatever it is that's relevant, okay? Or if you've seen a picture or a puppy or something that you know that you will both have a giggle about, or it represents a good time that you had together in that relationship, take a photo of it and send it to her and say something as simple as, remember this time, or remember that, or remember this. Facebook is really good for this because we get Facebook memories. So if you have a Facebook memory pop up which has a photo of the two of you in the Bahamas, then send that to her via Messenger and say, oh, remember when we had such an amazing time on this holiday. Remember, you want to keep reinforcing in her mind that you actually had something amazing together, and the best way to do that is simply trigger the good memories. Number 3, learn her love language. Guys, this is something that if you can do this, you're going to be set up for life. In fact, I even had a male client say to me that this book that I'm about to recommend you, which is The 5 Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman, is dangerous, because once you know how to actually use the tools in this book, you can almost make any single woman fall in love with you. If you're not aware what the 5 love languages are, then I suggest that you buy the book and you read it. In fact, I get every single one of my clients, both male and female, to read the book, and it changes their relationships. Essentially, the way it works is there's 5 different ways in which we give and receive love, and they are gifts, quality time, acts of service, physical touch, and words of affirmation. Now, just because you may have been giving your girlfriend gifts in the past, showering her with presents, roses, money, whatever, and you wanted to do that to show your love for her, if her way to feel love was actually when you spent quality time with her, but you never really did that, then you can see why you're getting this divide, and you can get my point. So if you want to actually communicate to her that you want to make this work next time round, and that you actually really still do love her, work out what her love language is, and then just do that every single time that you interact with her. Number 4, show her what she's missing by coming across as really happy and confident, even if you don't feel it. Now, this is where we kind of use a little bit of reverse psychology in order to be able to get her curious about what it is that she's missing out on when she's not with you. Essentially, you want her to see you as the best version of yourself so that she can fall back in love with you. So ideally, you want to steer clear of any sort of negative self-talk or posting drunk selfies on your social media. Make sure that whenever you do communicate with her, which I do encourage you to do, that it's actually positive, that it is encouraging, that it isn't talking about your depressive state or your broken heart all the time. Whilst it's important to be open about how you feel, make sure that the conversation is mainly around the good things that you're doing right now, because you want to come across that you are healed, confident, and growing, even if you don't really feel that you have arrived at that point yet. And I will say this, guys, make sure that you look after your appearance. Shave, shower, wear some aftershave, wear your best clothes every single time that you have an opportunity that you might meet her or that you're going to post a photo on Instagram. Then, of course, when she actually reaches out to you to comment on how fabulous you look, you want to actually equate that to the fact that, well, yeah, I've been working on myself. I realized that I had a few things to actually do within me, and you inspired me to be able to do that, so I have to give you some of the credit. Spark that curiosity within her and then reward her with hints that this is the new version of you that is here to stay. Now, this is where I want to give you access to our free confidence cheat sheet, because let's face it, when you go through a breakup, you don't really feel that confident. Now, this cheat sheet is amazing. It has scientifically proved ways in order to actually retrain your mind, plus do practical actions that are going to increase your confidence. So if you want to have access to it, simply click the link in the description below or click the image above. Okay, guys, and number 5, super important, if you want to win your ex-girlfriend back, then you have to reach out to her, but with a strategy. Don't go and send her "I miss you" texts at 4 a.m. in the morning or essays of how you screwed up and why you want her back. As I said before, this is a marathon, not a sprint, and you're going to have to do it gradually over time to really, once again, build that trust and attraction between you two. Now, the first thing you actually want to do is have no contact for the first 2 weeks so that you can really clear your head and give her an opportunity to miss you. That means no contact. Like, don't text her, don't like some of her social media stuff, no contact. Now, after the 2-week period, if you know it's right to get back with her, then it's time to reach out via a text message. Send her a simple message with a memory trigger saying something along the lines of, "Saw this and it made me think of you." What you want to do is you want to consistently send her short text messages over the next couple of weeks that indicate that you're thinking about her and that you miss her, but you're not necessarily about to go into a serenade of why you miss her and how much you want her back. Then when she's got comfortable with seeing that you're thinking about her and that you do miss her, you want to start leading into more positive and longer sort of conversations. Ask her, how is her day going? If you know that she's had a couple of big projects on because maybe you've seen seen it through social media, follow up and say to her, hey, I saw that you got that promotion at work. Congratulations. I think it's really well deserved. How's such and such going, by the way? The key is obviously to start to build some sort of rapport between you two that is positive and familiar. Now, if you do actually get stuck with not being able to text her back straight away, or you've left it a day in between, give her a reason why, because you want to make sure that she doesn't think that you're playing games or that you're not sure yet if you actually do want her back. Now, if she mentions in the conversations between you two that she has a problem, this is the perfect opportunity to be the hero and step in and say, I'd love to be able to help you with that, or do you need some help with that? Now, helping her with the problem is also an easy way to lead into suggesting that you can go for a walk or even have a coffee to catch up and chat a little bit. If she's hesitant, it might be because she just needs a little bit more time of you being consistently charming. But if she actually does say yes, then lock in a time and place and show that you are committed to having this casual coffee date with her. Guys, it is not impossible to win the girlfriend back. I have seen it happen all the time. All you have to do is understand why it fell apart in the first place and how to rectify it. Remember, you need to actually win her over again as if you were meeting her right from the first start and build that trust. If you're pushing the right sort of buttons, then chances are she's actually going to come around a lot sooner than you think, because we always gravitate towards what we're familiar with and what we've actually had an emotional attachment to. Now, don't forget to download our free confidence cheat sheet. This is why we're here, guys, to help you to become the best version of yourself so that you can be the man that you were always created to be. Now, of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a big thumbs up. And what I want you to do is I want you to comment down below, thanks, Renee, if this really helped you out, so that we can make sure that we know exactly the type of information to give you guys, because we are here to cheer you on. Until next time, guys, I'm Renee Slansky for The Attractive Man. Know that you are awesome, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.